We have an update on a story that we had here live on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus as breaking news a couple of weeks ago, back on, I believe, June 6th. It was a Friday. There was a death investigation at a former Charlotte hotel, which was turned into a drug recovery center, and authorities found, which we later learned, a woman and young child dead inside of a hotel room there. That's a look at the scene from when we broke that story here on Live Impact News. The reporter covering that story at the time, WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson, who was there at the scene. You talked to Cedric Dean, and just to take us back, when you had the interview, we were trying to figure out who that was. Mm-hmm. We ended up figuring out who it is. Mm-hmm. And you got an update on Cedric Dean, who runs that drug recovery center.
Yeah, so just kind of backtracking a little bit. When we last spoke to Cedric Dean, obviously he had some people there from Heal Charlotte, which is a separate program that was there originally. They moved out, have no relation to HELP, which took over the site, as you mentioned, for those struggling with substance abuse issues. And so Cedric had been having some troubles in that hotel with getting some of the former residents out, that led to his arrest, where he was basically trying to get a woman to leave the property that wouldn't. So fast forward, obviously we had this death in the hotel. And Cedric went ahead and announced this morning that they have decided to pull their HELP program out of the hotel. He cites many issues such as escalating public safety challenges, drug activity, gun violence, and security threats occurring on or near the property. Again, when I was out there, I spoke to several businesses that had mentioned that there's always law enforcement, it seems like, having to be called to this property. We did look through the CMPD crime mapper and didn't see anything specific today when I looked to see crimes in the last few months out there. Obviously, we know there have been some issues since we've been out there. But basically, we spoke with Dean this morning. I went out to his home and spoke with him. As of now, we're the only station that's talked to him today, as he's hoping to address this tomorrow to the public. But he did speak with me at length about the security that he feels his life and the staff members that work there, their lives are at risk with that property currently. And so they have made the ultimate decision to shut everything down and move out. And you'll hear tonight kind of why he alludes to some of those issues. Obviously, I mentioned they have seen an issue with crime. And he, a couple weeks ago, we interviewed him, said that when he was arrested and told he couldn't go in these rooms and check on people, he was essentially saying that CMPD was responsible for the death of someone like this because he could not get into those rooms. Well, then I spoke to an attorney a week later who said, technically there's a process to get those people out, and he can't just go into the hotel and play Wild Wild West, is what they quoted, and just kick people out. There's a process, a legal process. It goes before a judge. So obviously there's just been a lot of issues happening for him on that property, and he has made that executive decision to walk away.
What was his tone this morning?
Frustrated.
Yeah.
Frustrated with law enforcement. Very upset with what he feels is a lot of issues, and he's basically being told he can't do anything, and he feels as if he's getting no support from law enforcement. He said to me specifically today, one of the things he said was, why can't an officer just be out there sitting at the hotel or patrolling or checking in on the site? If we have so many issues and we're trying to make these changes, why is law enforcement not out there? And he, I think, is really frustrated with law enforcement more so than anyone else, because he feels as if several things have happened, and you'll hear that tonight, several things have happened since we were last out there, that he feels like he hasn't gotten support from, and it's not a safe place for him or his staff or the people that are living there.
Yeah, it's interesting that we get the update because I was coming back from with the High Point this weekend, and obviously you see it off of 85 in North Charlotte, and I saw people there.
Yeah.
So in my mind, logically, it was a big story that we covered, that you covered.
Yeah.
I wonder what's the update on the hotel, and here we go.
Yeah, and when you're out at the site, you see a lot of people coming and going.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people walking in and out of the hotel, up and down the street. And he had mentioned, this is an issue because he's saying because he was arrested and told he couldn't go into rooms, he can't tell who's coming into these rooms because he can't go and knock the door down or ask and check in on his people that are staying there. So he's saying that this has hindered him from being able to know who's coming in. Obviously, they know who's walking in the door, but they can't go in rooms. They can't do all of these different things. And so it's just become too much to handle.
A lot to sort out here. Walker, thank you for your time. And folks can find your story tonight. What time?
It is airing tonight at 6, so it'll be around 6:15, I believe.
Right.
Sorry, 6 o'clock on the dot.
6 o'clock on the dot.
Actually, yeah.
You can catch Walker's story. You can also find it on our website. Right now, the article is up, WCNC.com. Also, download the app. Walker, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We're deskmates, so I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, right. I'll see you in just a little bit.
That's Walker Lawson with an update on that former hotel in North Charlotte, death investigation there from a couple of weeks ago. So make sure you catch that story at 6 o'clock.